All right, no time to explain, gang. Welcome back. King Zeph here, back with another video for you guys. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are enjoying the start of your productive week. First Monday of December, which means we are approximately 3 weeks away from Christmas. And don't remind me because I have not done any Christmas shopping and probably don't plan on doing any Christmas shopping. And for those that are hoping to do Christmas shopping and get stuff for TCGs and Lorcana, yeah, good luck. But anyway, finally got a package in the mail the other day. It's something I've been waiting for a long time ago, which I'm pretty positive you've been seeing other people talk about. I finally got the device I pre-ordered, the pot collection, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pot collection, in this big black box. It's actually kind of badass. I love this box. It's actually pretty cool. So back, what is, I believe, at the beginning of the year, or was it older than that? Might have been longer than that. I could have sworn I might have. I'm getting my time frame. Anyway, probably around February time. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say February. It might have been older than that. Konami did pre-orders for these. Apparently inside it, there's gonna come with a statue of every single pot card, for the exception of, I think, pot, whatever that monster card pot is. That's newer. Has 3,000, I think, defense points. That basically works as a pot of greed if it's flipped up. But for the exception of that one, basically every single pot magic card and the one more ray of greed, and there's one more, I think, spirit of the pot. They made little tiny figurines for them, so sit on your desk and look pretty. And they also give you every single pot card, which is kind of funny because they just reprinted most of them in the rarity collection. But I digress. They're supposed to use OCG cardstock, and they should be in the parallel rarity along with a quarter century pot of greed. So you actually get 2 pot of greeds in here, and then every other pot card you get in parallel rare. So we're gonna take a look at that. We are not new to parallel rares. We see them all the time. I crack them open in the OCG boxes that I do. So they're very common that we see, but I think these will look a little different from how I've seen them online. So we'll see how the whole thing goes. But we'll get this thing cracked open and all that other stuff. So if you like content like this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Get us to our next goal of 750 subscribers. A lot of you guys, we love you, but there's every bit about 60 to 70% of you guys that watch our videos but aren't subscribed. Join us. Hit that button. It's free of charge. And we'd like to do some fun stuff and occasional cool stuff. And I'm pretty positive that IB Friction probably has another JJK reaction, along with a couple other things coming down the pipeline as well, outside of stuff I have planned for this month. I'm thinking about doing some mystery packs unopenings and judging other people's mystery packs. So if you want to see stuff like that, leave it in the comments. But otherwise, hit that subscribe button, join us, so that when we have new videos, you can see when we're posting. So let's get this thing going. So the pot collection in this big black box that's kind of bigger than my desk. So we're gonna crack it open on the flip it upside down. There are 2 pieces of tape at the bottom of this. So I'm just going to, do my due diligence to slice this open without damaging the box. Okay, I think I got them both. Let me move the unboxing knife because, of course, my unboxing knife is very, very sharp. And here we go. We're gonna raise it. Come on. There we go. And there we have it. So looks like all of these things, and actually this packaging is quite nice, but of course, giant fat pack of cards, and there's the star of the show, the quarter century secret rare pot of greed. No first edition, just says limited edition, which is fine, but of course this fat pack has all of these cards in it because, like I said, it's every single pot card. We'll go ahead and take a look at that in a hot minute. And then it looks like, oh, yep, that's pretty much all the statues and everything inside. So I'm just gonna pull one of them out, and you do have to assemble them. So I guess I will take a couple minutes to put these together. I can't remember which pot card this is. I will be reminded very, very soon. But where is Pot of Greed hiding? Is this one it? No, this is Pot of Duality. It's Pot of Greed. Pot of Greed, where are you? Extravagance. Riches. Prosperity. So there he is. There's Pot of Greed. He's this one right here. So give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and put these things together, and then I'll be back. All right, guys, I got all of them unboxed and packaged and put together and everything, but we're gonna go through the cards first before I go through all of the pots, because of course I know half of these off the top of my head because I've used a couple of them in real life in the game, but I don't know them all. So I'm just gonna actually show off the cards, and then I'm gonna use the cards to reference each individual pot card. So let's get this thing open. And this is like the most slipperiest plastic wrap I have ever seen in a promo card ever, and I don't want to really damage them too much, if not at all. Hold on. Get it off camera. Because knowing me, I'll bump into it and run into the camera, and Jesus, I cannot get this open. Oh wow, I am awful at this, and I don't want to bend these cards. So you know what? Knife it. Knife it. Don't want to damage these at all. Just gonna make a small little sliver. And even though I cut this thing, I feel like I didn't even cut it because it's not even opening. It's like, what did they make this thing out of? There we go. Throw out the plastic. And now we have all the cards. So of course, Pot of Greed and Quarter Century Secret Rare. Now I find it funny that when they advertise these, and I'm gonna grab some sleeves as well because I don't want to keep these things as protected as humanly possible. When they advertise this, they're just like, oh yeah, they're all tournament legal. Well, yeah, well, half of these are banned. So I mean, tournament legal, yes, but I mean, the cards are banned. We can't use them in real life, so there's no point in saying that they're tournament legal because most of them you can't use. Now, a couple of them you can. But now here we go into the parallel rares, and these parallel rares are actually, you know, I don't think I have any OCG cards that are in parallel rare like this. I've seen the parallel rares where they're just normal, well, they're glossy, but these have that ultra rare lettering. These have a gold lettering and everything. There might have been a set or two that I opened up on the channel that, there might have been a set that I opened up that had these glossy ultra rares that are parallels. I'm probably to go into my collection and see if I can pull a couple of them up. I won't do that right now because I have too many cards kind of spread all over the place, and sorting through the OCG cards is already a pain. So I'll do that later, but these are like ultra rares, but they have that gloss on them. So the fronts are embossed, and then of course they have all that shine on them. So we got Pot of Greed, Pot of Generosity, which I've never used, Pot of Avarice, that's one I always forget, Pot of Benevolence, Pot of Riches, I've never used this card, Pot of Equivocativeness, Pot of Duality, this I have used quite a bit, Pot of Dichotomy, I've never seen this pot card before, Pot of Desires, my least used pot card, but it does see some play, Pot of Extravagance, definitely use a lot of this, Pot of Prosperity, the main pot card, the one that probably everybody's talking about getting banned or limited down to one, followed by Spirit of the Pot of Greed, Moray of Greed, and Shard of Greed. So that is all of those. Let's get these sleeved up because I don't want these. It's already with the glossy fronts on them, already kind of makes them a little bit more sensitive than other cards. So I don't want these to get really damaged. And plus these are going in the binder anyway. They eventually might get graded. I'm considering getting the entire collection graded. Because I'm not gonna play these cards. I've had a couple of people in my local card shop, they're just like, oh, I can't wait to use this one in real life. I'm like, yeah, with these being limited, and even with the resale on them, I think on TCG Player, it didn't look like that they were stupid expensive, for the exception of maybe Pot of Greed. But, you know, with this being a collector's item to a degree, I can't see, like, using these in real life. I really can't. It's one of those things that's just like, you know, they're meant to be seen and looked at from a binder or from inside a graded container, more than be used in actual play. Now, if you want to use them in play, that's your prerogative. Some people might have bought multiple of these with the intent of using them, and that's fine too. Like if that's what you wanted to do, more power to you. Well, 100%. Like at least one set of these should have been. If you bought it with the intent to play, I would have hoped that you bought two. One, or even maybe three. One to like leave unopened in the box, and the other ones to be like, okay, well, I'll play these. These I'll keep in the binder, and then this I'll just keep like sealed in a box. That'll be what I would hope people bought it for. But like I said, to each their own. It's their money. They can spend it however they want to spend it, and all that other stuff. I just can't, personally, I just can't see something like this being a collectible more than the fact that they're actual tournament legal cards. I can't see myself actually putting these in my deck and using them. I just can't. Man, this sleeve is... I am struggling today. It's been a long day. Well, one, it's Monday, so these are getting a severe case of the Mondays. And as soon as I get these all sleeved up, then we'll go ahead and look at the statues one by one and with their respective cards. How many more of these do I have left? There's a lot of them. They gave me just a book of cards. But I do like the fact that Konami is like doing more like official collectible things. I know the next one is the Kybercore briefcase, which I actually have the OCG version of right behind me. I use it for my card storage personally. I still haven't, like, in the back of my mind, I see somebody just coming into either a YCS or a regular, like, local tournament, like, you know, BDE Energy, walking in with the briefcase, slaps the briefcase on the table, opens it up, breaks their deck and their play mat or their just mass collection of cards and just, like, pull a Settle Kaiba in a tournament. That's just what I see. And unfortunately, like, that person would have to be like the best player like at that local, because it's like I imagine doing that and then losing. It's just like you came in with all this aggressive energy and this flex just to lose. That's the only thing really stopping me from doing it, because I've topped a couple of my locals. I haven't topped a lot of them, but I generally like do decent. I usually sit probably around the middle with a couple wins, and usually a 4 or 5 round Swiss, I have about 2 or 3 wins. So that's generally how that kind of goes. But okay, that covers all of these. These are my extra sleeves on the side. And then of course, I'm just gonna go ahead, you know, I'm gonna put Pot of Greed, the quarter century one, right up here. He can just be front and center. So let's go through these one by one. So of course we have the regular Pot of Greed. And this one, actually, I put a couple things in this one because the spirit of the Pot of Greed, which is this guy right here. Also, another fun fact about this, as I throw the spirit of Pot of Greed out of here. I remember when they advertised it, a lot of people were complaining about like quality of these, and just like, oh, they look super cheap and everything like that. Like, I know they're not expensive, they're just plastic and probably, like, you know, in terms of making them super, super cheap. But the paint on this is really good, the detail's really cool, and for miniature figurines that you can just kind of have sprinkled around your desk or table or display, they look dope. So, and then of course, here's the spirit of the Pot of Greed. Of course, he's just a little guy, and then you just pop him right on here, and he just kind of sits and rests right there on there. So I'm going to go ahead and slap him over here. Next, we have the Pot of Generosity, which is, I'm going to put this one over here. Where's Pot of Generosity? You are here. Little long guy. Then we have the Pot of Avarice. And you are, no, where are you? Pot of Avarice, you're right here. With the sideways tongue and everything. So there's Pot of Avarice. Followed by the Pot of Benevolence. And he's a little big guy. His is a little chunky. He's that one right there. With the wrapped hands and everything in between. Pot of Riches. The pot card I've never actually, I've seen this because he's part of Pot of Extravagance. I've never actually played this card. What does he actually do? Shuffle 3 Pendulum Monsters. Oh, that explains why. I'm not even going to finish reading it because I don't play pendulums. Shuffle 3 Pendulum Monsters. Yeah, that's why I don't use them, because, you know, pendulum monsters. Then we have Pot of Equivocativeness. I don't know why I'm struggling to read that. It's like I have dyslexia or something. I'm going to go ahead and move Pot of Desire. Pot of Equivocativeness should be this one. Little bougie looking pot. I kind of dig it. Then we have Pot of Duality. Pot of Duality, you should be right here. So, of course, made of Pot of Greed and Pot of Generosity. The two of them fused together to make Pot of Duality. And then we got Pot of Dichotomy. What does this one do? I've never seen this card. At the start of your main phase, target 3 monsters with different types in your graveyard. Shuffle all 3 in the deck and then draw 2 cards. But you cannot conduct your battle phase the turn this is activated. That's actually not too bad. That would be you. So, boom. And Avarice. So that'll be Avarice and Benevolence. Go ahead and stick you right there. Pot of Desires. A commonly used card. You banish the top 10 and then draw 2. There, this one is. So, of course, Pot of Greed and Pot of Avarice combined. The Pot of Extravagance. What is it? Random 6 or 3. At the start of your battle, damage 3 or 6 random cards face down from your extra deck, and then you draw 1 card for every 3 cards banished. For the rest of this turn, after the card resolved, you cannot draw any cards with its effect. So, yep, you are here. Pot of Riches and Pot of Greed. I love this one's more round in the back for Pot of Greed, so it looks a little bit more normal. And then, of course, we have Pot of Prosperity, the main pot card. So that's Pot of Generosity and Pot of Riches. And that's this one. This one looks probably, it doesn't look bad, but you know, the back half so slumped and so sad looking, it kind of looks a little weird. And then, of course, we have the Spirit of the Pot of Greed, which is currently sitting inside of the Pot of Greed. We have Moray of Greed. This is shuffle 2 water monsters back in the deck and then draw 3. And for Moray, since it doesn't have a pot, they actually give you a little tiny Moray, which is kind of cool. Just a random snake pot card. And then the last pot card is, of course, the Shard of Greed. Each time you draw cards... Oh, this is continuous. I didn't even realize it was continuous. I forgot. Each time you draw a card from a normal draw in your draw phase, place 1 greed token. With 2 or more greed tokens in your graveyard, draw 2 cards. You can send this card. Oh, yeah, so you discard this with 2 tokens on it. And even for Shard of Greed, they give you this little tiny broken piece. So that looks like it's just a broken piece of plastic, but it's actually just a tiny Shard of Greed on that side. But that is going to be the entire pot collection right there. So, thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the collection. If you got the collection? I know Konami didn't send the shipping like they should have. Honestly, I got a notification from UPS and they're just like, hey, you have a package coming. And I was like, who is this company? Because of course they use like Nightbridge, or I guess their main corporation name, and then follow it was KDE. And I just so happened to remember that KDE means Konami Digital Entertainment. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that must be my pot collection. So, you know, spaced out, but they didn't even send the shipping confirmation. It'll be the funniest thing in the world if next week I get an email saying, hey, we shipped your pot collection. I'm like, yeah, I got it a week ago. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe for any future content. We got a couple more unpackings and things going on, and more videos coming soon this week, as well as to the end of the year. So give us your support. Let's get to our next goal of 750 subscribers, and let's get 2024 rocking. King Zeph here. No time to explain. Till next time, I'm out.